welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm not gonna get used to saying that, I promise. Anyway, today we're gonna be talking about self-sabotage, something that I am all too familiar with. I wanted to make this video to talk to you all about how I'm working through my self-sabotage, how I think you can too, and we can stop ruining our lives. So first off, what is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when people do things that block their success or prevent them from accomplishing their goals. It can happen consciously or unconsciously. Essentially, self-sabotage is when we get in our own way, ruining a good thing, preventing yourself from getting to your goals, stopping your own success. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but I am a self-sabotaging queen. And I didn't even realize that I was self-sabotaging. I just thought I'm a procrastinator, or I'm just not smart enough, or I'm not capable enough. And essentially, all of those excuses were self sabotage, plainly and simply. So, for me, the biggest ways that self sabotage shows up is procrastination. I will know that I have a deadline. And instead of doing the damn thing, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm researching every corner of the piece of information that I need to be working on instead of working on it. If I told y'all about my experience in law school and how I waited until 48 hours before briefs were done to actually start writing, yeah, self-sabotage. Another way my self-sabotaging shows up is in paralyzation. So instead of doing anything, I do nothing at all. I am stuck. I like to say I'm stuck on stupid. But my therapist wouldn't like me saying that. The other way I self-sabotage is by feeding thoughts of self-doubt. I am so guilty of this. I'll be faced with something that I actually do have the capabilities to get done, but my thought process is, I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if I'm able. I don't know if I'm good enough. So why do I think self-sabotage exists? Based on my experience, I'm not a psychologist, but I will say, for me, I think self-sabotage exists for two reasons. One is that my brain subconsciously likes what it knows. It wants the status quo, okay? It doesn't want me trying new things, venturing out into scary lands, to unknown territories. All of that sounds like a big fat absolutely not. And so when I decide that I want to make a YouTube channel and I've never made one before, or I decide that I'm going to go up for a new position or start a business, my brain immediately is sending off signals of absolutely not, don't do this, step back, this is too much. We don't ever do this, so let's not do it now. Even though there's a part of me that greatly desires doing this thing, my desire might be there, but that desire is not necessarily stronger than my self-sabotaging ways. But I have developed a process and I'm working through it. So I want to talk to you all about how I am finally getting over some of my self-sabotaging habits and working towards being okay and being comfortable with the unknown, with my fears, and with trying to accomplish new things. So the first thing I'm doing is incorporating mindfulness and an increased level of self-awareness. It was hard for me to see that I was self-sabotaging because I wasn't aware. I hadn't developed the self-awareness necessary to be able to recognize when I was standing in my own way. I've developed a journaling practice, a meditation practice, and honestly just a silence practice. And as I have increased and bettered my mindfulness practice, I am way more aware of myself, of my thoughts, of what I'm doing, and of how I'm feeling. So then when these self-sabotaging behaviors show up, I can better recognize them and then get into the next steps of addressing them. The next thing I do is to reframe. When I find myself procrastinating, I'll ask myself, what are you trying to avoid? What feeling are you trying to run away from? Why are you uncomfortable? And what do I want to be doing instead? And then if I'm engaging in self-sabotaging thoughts like self-doubt or insecurity, I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll ask myself, why are you saying that? Where is this coming from? Is that true? And what do you want to believe instead? So I take that time to look at whatever is happening and then reframe it into a perspective that I want to think, or I want to feel, or I want to do. So instead of procrastinating, I'll say, right now I really want to work on this project because it means a lot to me. It's really important. I'm genuinely excited about the possibility of X, Y, and Z. Or if I'm thinking self sabotaging thoughts, I'll say, I'm really just doubting myself because this is scary and I've never done this before, but I know that I'm capable because I went to law school, graduated, passed the bar, and worked at a law firm. And what I really want to believe is I could do this. It's okay. I'm totally able. I'm perfect for this position, or whatever the case may be. That leads me to the next step, which is to establish clear intentions. So after I do this reframing, I ask myself, what's my intention? What do I intend to do in order to achieve this goal or actually get this thing done? And I will set a clear intention. So, for example, filming this video. My intention is to film an amazing and insightful video about self sabotage and put this on the internet and hopefully impact one or two people by telling them my story. I have a very clear intention. The other part of that intention setting is getting specific, similar to like setting SMART goals, right? So I'll say tomorrow at 3 p.m., I intend to film this video. And the reason I'm going to film this video is because I want to help people overcome their own self sabotaging thoughts or behavior. So, by setting intentions, I'm essentially creating the instructions for myself, right? I'm creating my guide that I can go back to whenever those thoughts or actions creep back up. I'll be able to say, okay, what were my intentions? Why did I want to do this? And go back to that as guidance whenever these self sabotaging behaviors show up, which they inevitably do. So the last step is to reflect. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the mindfulness piece. But after I get through whatever situation it is and I finish the assignment or I do the thing, I always like to go back and reflect on what happened right before I started engaging in that self sabotaging behavior. What was going on that maybe triggered me to fall back into my self sabotaging ways and behaviors? And sometimes it's the environment, sometimes it's something someone said to me, sometimes it is my social media use. If I go on social media in the morning before I'm trying to get work done, any piece of information that gives me even an inkling of doubt impacts my ability to actually get started on the thing. So I really try to go back and look at what happened right before I found myself procrastinating or I found myself doubting my beliefs. And this is a process that kind of takes a little bit of time, and I'm building up, a list of things that I've recognized kind of play into that. But having the mindfulness and taking the time to reflect on what might have caused it is helping me so much in being able to recognize when I am self sabotaging. Those were the four things that I use to help me as I'm working through my self sabotage. It is definitely a work in progress. I am reframing every day, I am reflecting every day, and I am working on just identifying more of, what is causing me to self sabotage, where is that coming from, and then also giving myself the empowerment to feel like I can actually change this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, and I will be back next week.